Hey guys, my name is Jena and I am a sophomore student athlete here at SNU, and I'm majoring in biochem. Never in a million years did I think I'd be up here talking to you guys, but I'm so excited to be here and to have the opportunity to share my story. To start off my story, I want to give you guys a little bit of my background. I grew up in a small town in northwest Oklahoma, and I was born into a pretty athletic family. My dad was an All-American linebacker at SWASU. My mom played some volleyball. My two older brothers went D1 in their respective sports, and my younger brother is going to play college sports as well. So yeah, sports were a huge part of my childhood. Because of this upbringing, I knew from a young age that I wanted to play college basketball. It was something I loved, and I knew that I wanted to make my parents and my hometown proud. Fast forward to my sophomore year of high school, I was having a pretty good season up to that point and was beginning to have a few college looks. At this point in my life, I truly began to find my identity in basketball. It wasn't just something I did, it became who I was. For me, every good game was a high and every bad game was a low. It was such a roller coaster of emotions all the time. About midway through that really good season, I ended up tearing my ACL and my season was over. And as a 16-year-old whose dream was to go play college basketball, I honestly felt like that was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. In the blink of an eye, basketball was over, and I was left questioning my identity. During this time in my life, I experienced anxiety and depression like I never had before, and it was easily one of the hardest times of my life. And though I had grown up in the church and always had a good relationship with God, I felt further away from Him than ever before. I was angry at Him, and I felt like He had let me down. God had placed that passion in my heart for basketball, so we were supposed to be in it together, right? I know this might seem like a bit much, but I was in such a bad place mentally, spiritually, and emotionally that I really began to question if life was worth living. My recovery was honestly a struggle. This was during the beginning of COVID, so I felt like things were just dark all the time. I didn't pick up my Bible or pray or talk to God just because I didn't feel like He was there. And though I knew that God hadn't abandoned me, it felt like it. Deep down, I knew that He was there, but my foundation was shaken. At that time, I didn't know what it was, but looking back now, I know it's the power of prayer from others. But during this hard season, something led me to pick up my Bible and talk to God again. I'm going to be honest, at first, it wasn't all perfect. Things were still hard, and I still struggled with my injury and depression. But what I can tell you is that I was met with God's unending and never failing grace and love. Through this experience, I learned how important it is to find your identity in Christ. Identity is defined as who or what a person or thing is. It's so easy as students or athletes to find our identities in the things we do. We spend so much time with our respective sports and classes or at a job that we can so easily tie our identity to those things. However, when we tie our identity to worldly things, it only leaves us feeling unfulfilled and unsatisfied. The only identity that will complete us is the identity that we find in Christ. It comes from knowing that you are a child of God and that nothing can or ever will change that. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of the book Shaken by Tim Tebow. If you haven't, it's a really good book and you should read it. But in the book, he says that identity comes not necessarily from who we are, but from whose we are. I know that I'm a child of God, and I hope that you guys know that you are too. We are God's children. Nothing will ever change His love for us. This truth is what helped me not only get through that hard ACL surgery, but also 3 shoulder surgeries after that, a diagnosis with a dysautonomia my freshman year of college, and continued medical challenges to this day. Through all of the uncertainty that life may give me, I am certain of one thing. I am a child of God, and my identity is found in Him alone. This statement has brought me a lot of peace and hope during difficult times, and as you guys go through difficult times as well, I hope you can remember where your true identity lies also. Thank you.